Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the anime March Comes in Like a Lion, Seasons 1 and 2 on Netflix. And I really enjoyed this anime. I'm gonna try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible, but I really liked what they did with this. And I was intrigued by it because it's an anime about shogi, and it was a slice of life. I'm like, okay, let's see how this kind of goes. So, the main driving force of this anime, the main character, is Rei Kiriyama. He is a professional shogi player, and he's still in high school. And shogi is a Japanese game where it is similar to chess, where each piece on the board has certain moves that they can do, also promotions and all that, but it has its own rules and everything. I'm like, okay, it's going to be interesting to see how they keep you engaged during these matches, and they do a great job of doing that, actually. We see him doing all these various different matches because he needs to keep his rank or advance or do tournaments. We also see other shogi players having their own shogi matches, and they are able to keep the tension there and keep you engaged and interested because you get into each kind of player's headspace, mainly staying in Rei's during his matches. And we see a lot of visual metaphors and everything, and there's a lot of different movements, such as they're placing their pieces and taking drinks and eating things sometimes, and it just has a nice visual flow through it, and the animation is very well done. I like the use of colors and all different kind of ways to symbolize things that are going on in people's heads, like using the river, because that's a very important element that goes throughout this anime. And the only thing that kind of threw me off about the animation and the art style were the eyes, because usually when I see kind of lines as the kind of pupils, it usually means that they're unfocused and focusing on something else. But other than that, I really grew into how the eye style was done. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And another portion for what's going on in this adaptation is that it is structured kind of similarly to The Disastrous Life of Psyche K, whereas it's divvied up into manga chapters and how it's adapted, and that was a really good choice. At first I'm like, okay, that's going to be kind of weird, but it just worked throughout the whole thing. Now, the biggest strength of this series, in my opinion, is the character development. And that kind of branches out throughout the whole show. This is not a plot-driven show. These are characters moving the plot. Things don't happen because the plot demands it. Things happen because characters make choices, and we see the inevitable consequences of those choices. And the biggest thing we see is Rei and the second portion, the Kawamoto family, and their interactions. And it explores kind of family, loss, bullying, all these different and various elements, and seeing how they affect all the characters involved. And they do a phenomenal job at that. Even supporting characters that are done throughout this anime are given enough time to feel like characters. Not like, hey, there's cardboard cutout character CBA. It's actually like, oh, okay, they bring up some characters and sometimes they do something serious with them, sometimes they do something hilarious with them. And that's another thing that this anime does very well. It is a great example of just consistent tone. And I know you're going to be like, okay, if you watch this, you're like, wait a minute, they do a lot of serious stuff, but they also do a lot of funny stuff. None of that breaks the internal logic of the world. Sometimes in an anime, I would see something really kind of serious and then something really funny would be done at an odd point. The timing for the serious aspects and the comedic aspects is very well done in this anime. Sometimes you will have Rei being introspective about what's going on in his life, and then the next moment you see giant usual kind of anime head or somebody looking like they're a monster because of what they're talking about. It works. It doesn't break the serious tones or the comedic tones. They are able to interweave those very well in this anime, and I really have to applaud them for that. Let's see. The only kind of problem that I could really get into with this is that there's no third season. Now, granted, you get to the end of the second season and there's a nice end cap, but I would like to know more about the stories, and I know that there's more manga that have been made and that they have material to make it. I just hope that they eventually do, because I like learning about the world of shogi and seeing all these different kinds of tournaments and all these different kind of characters just kind of go through their own lives, seeing some develop, some regress, some take that regression and use it as fuel to become better people. And just showing the seasonal and cyclical nature of life. It just is a really good, feel-good anime. Now, granted, there are dark things that happen in it, and that's important. I'm glad that they show those kind of darker aspects and then not shy away from them and then try and deal with them in a healthy and effective manner. So I would definitely recommend this anime to anyone who is really invested into character development and kind of not necessarily slow, but nice methodically paced shows. This doesn't really have a lot of overt physical action in it, but it does have enough action to keep you engaged in what's going on in the story, even though there are certain things that you're like, hey, a shogi match shouldn't be that interesting, but they fucking made it interesting very well. So if you're not into kind of like slower burn anime, I would not really recommend this. It builds on itself. And I got to the point where I'm like, wow, there's a lot of this. So I started watching like 4 episodes at a clip because it's Netflix. I don't know when these things are going to be taken off. So I'm like, get through it as fast as possible. If it doesn't say Netflix original, I'm like, okay. And I don't regret going through it at that pace. I was able to see a lot of good stuff going on, and I was able to kind of like get it. Each episode, I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait to see what the next one is. And that's why I'm like, please make a season 3. Though I would be okay with this, kind of similar to Devil is a Part-Timer. Though I think Devil is a Part-Timer did a better end cap where you're like, okay, I want another season, but I'm alright with this ending. This one, it's like, there's more story there. There's more that we can see. So those are my opinions on the anime. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.